There is a moment that arrives quietly, after the message that was never answered, after the joke that felt sharp instead of funny, after the look that made you feel small. Your body reacts before your mind can explain it. Your chest tightens. Your breath becomes shallow. Your thoughts loop, searching for meaning, for fault, for something you did wrong. You replay the moment again and again. You soften them in your memory and harden yourself. You ask how you could have been quieter, easier, less. There is confusion, there is grief, and a subtle fear that whispers, if I don't fix this, I might lose something. So you re-explain. You overgive your heart, hoping to be understood by someone who is not listening. And slowly, without noticing, you give your power away, not because you are weak, but because you feel deeply, because connection matters to you. What you feel is not proof that something is wrong with you. It is information. Your body is speaking. And the moment you stop asking, why are they like this? And begin asking, what is happening inside me? Your power begins to return. When you slow down enough to feel your body, the story begins to change. You notice how your shoulders rise without permission, how your jaw tightens as if preparing for impact, how your breath stays shallow, trapped in your chest. This is not weakness. This is your nervous system sensing threat. Fight wants to defend, flight wants to disappear, freeze wants to go numb. These reactions are ancient, they are intelligent, but they do not need to lead you. So instead of reacting, you pause. You let the breath lengthen naturally. You bring attention to the sensation, without fixing it, without judging it, just witnessing. And slowly something softens, not instantly, but truthfully. You realize your emotions are not enemies. They rise to protect you, not to punish you. The moment you stay with yourself instead of abandoning yourself, your power begins to return, quiet, steady, present. There comes a moment when you stop explaining yourself, not because you are angry, but because you are tired. Tired of shrinking to keep peace. Tired of clarifying what should have been felt. Tired of carrying the emotional weight alone. You notice the urge to react, to defend, to repair, and you let it pass. You stay with the tightness in your chest, with the tremble in your hands. You do not abandon yourself this time. In that stillness, clarity arrives without effort. You begin to see that not everyone is cruel. Some are simply unconscious. And unconsciousness, when left unexamined, consumes. It feeds on your attention, your explanations, your self-doubt. The moment you stop feeding it, it weakens. The silence becomes your teacher, not the silence of punishment, but the silence of self-respect. You let conversations end. You let misunderstandings remain uncorrected. And for the first time, peace feels stronger than being understood. When you stop reacting, something shifts. Not loudly, but clearly. You are no longer negotiating your worth. You are no longer proving your pain. Silence, rooted in presence, begins to expose truth. Those who relied on your emotional labor feel the absence. Those who respect you meet you in the quiet. Some soften, some grow uncomfortable, some drift away, and you do not chase any of them, because non-reaction is not suppression. It is discernment. It is choosing peace over performance, choosing coherence over chaos. You begin to withdraw your energy, not as escape, but as return. Back to your body, back to your breath, back to the small rituals that remind you who you are. Solitude becomes a sanctuary, not lonely, clean. Your nervous system starts to trust you again. Your sleep deepens. Your words become fewer, but truer. This is not distance, this is alignment. Or something quiet begins to settle inside you. Not certainty, but knowing. You move more slowly now. You listen more closely. To your body, to your breath, to what feels true. Pain no longer rushes you into reaction. It becomes a signal, a guide. What once destabilized you turns into wisdom stored in the body. Your responses soften, your intuition sharpens. You choose differently, not because you hardened, but because you listened. And one day, without drama, you realize something gentle. The journey was never about them. It was about coming home to yourself, protecting the quiet space where your spirit breathes, honoring the signals instead of silencing them. You do not need to fight demons. You only need to stop abandoning your peace. And as you sit here now, breathing grounded, present, you may feel it. That subtle, unshakable truth. You were never powerless. You were only remembering. And as that remembering deepens, as something else begins to reveal itself, slowly, quietly, you notice how little effort true clarity requires. Your body responds before your mind creates a story. A slight contraction when a boundary is crossed. A quiet warmth when someone is safe. A heaviness when a conversation takes more than it gives. You stop arguing with these signals. You trust them. This is how discernment matures. Not through suspicion, but through intimacy with your inner world. What once felt like hidden demons now appear as patterns. Patterns of avoidance. Patterns of control. The patterns of subtle invalidation. You do not call these people enemies. You simply notice where your nervous system cannot rest. And that is enough. There is a sacred distance that does not end love, but protects life force. A distance that says, I will not abandon myself to maintain connection. This is not bitterness. This is refinement. Your presence grows quieter but stronger. When you speak now, it is not to explain. It is to express. Your words are no longer rushed with urgency. And because of that, they land differently. Some are startled by this version of you. Some are relieved. Some lose access to you entirely. You let that happen, without pride, without cruelty. Your energy no longer leaks. Where you once defended, you breathe. Where you once chased clarity, you allow ambiguity. Where you once overgave, you rest. Life reorganizes around this steadiness. Mornings soften. Evenings grow lighter. You stop confusing intensity with intimacy. You stop performing for peace. Clarity does not shout, it waits. And now you know, you are allowed to choose yourself without explanation. To feel without reacting. To withdraw without guilt. You remain centered, at peace. There is one more layer to this remembering. One that unfolds not in words, but in how you carry yourself through ordinary moments. You notice how your body enters rooms now, not scanning, not bracing, just arriving. Your spine feels taller, not from effort, but from alignment. Your gaze steadies. No need for approval, no need to avoid contact. You listen more than you speak, and when you speak, there is no rush behind it. This is how inner safety expresses itself. When tension arises, you no longer absorb it automatically. You feel it pass near you, not through you. You understand that not every emotional storm is yours to stand in. Some people will test this new quiet, who old dynamics surface one last time. You do not harden. You soften inwardly and remain still outwardly. Stillness reveals intentions without confrontation. It clears the fog where confusion once lived. You begin to see who respects your boundaries when they are no longer explained. Who grows uneasy when they cannot access your emotional labor. Who meets you in presence instead of demand. And you let the seeing be enough. There is no announcement, no dramatic exit. Just a gentle recalibration of where your energy flows. You stop answering questions that do not feel safe. You stop justifying choices aligned with your peace. You stop over-explaining the silence that now protects you. Life grows quieter on the outside, richer on the inside. Joy becomes simpler, a cup of tea held with both hands. Sunlight on the floor, a full, uninterrupted exhale. These moments nourish you more than approval ever did. You begin to trust your timing. You respond when your body is ready, not when anxiety demands it. You let conversations unfold naturally, or not at all. This is how you teach others how to meet you. Not through instruction, through example. Some rise to this frequency, some fall away. Neither outcome requires judgment. You understand now that peace is not fragile. It does not need constant defense. It only needs loyalty. Loyalty to your breath, to your sensations, to the quiet signals guiding you home. This is the quiet power Shi Heng Yi points toward. Not a technique, but a way of being. Presence over reaction, inner order over chaos. Nothing to fix, nothing to chase, nothing to prove. Only this breath, only this moment. Fully, quietly, at home. Staying does not mean stagnation. It means inhabiting your life from the inside out. Decisions begin to arise with less friction. Not because choices disappear, but because your body senses alignment before the mind debates. There is a calm certainty now. Not loud, not performative. Just steady. When subtle disrespect appears, your system registers it immediately. No adrenaline spike. No collapse into self-doubt. Just a clear, quiet no. You may still feel tenderness. You may still feel sadness. But you no longer confuse feeling with obligation. This is where many women were taught to falter. Believing compassion requires access. Believing understanding requires endurance. You begin to see instead compassion without boundaries becomes self-erasure. You choose carefully who enters your inner world. Depth is offered only where it can be held with care. Courtesy is offered elsewhere, and nothing more. This is not withholding, it is stewardship. Your energy becomes something sacred you tend daily, through rest, through rhythm, through listening when your body says enough. When old guilt surfaces, you meet it gently. You do not argue with it. You do not obey it. You remember, guilt is often an echo of conditioning, not truth. Slowly, the fear of being misunderstood loosens its grip. Being misunderstood by someone committed to misunderstanding you is not failure. It is information. Silence begins to do its quiet work. Your presence becomes unshakable. Even in emotionally charged spaces, you remain grounded. You feel your feet, your breath, yourself. Some soften in response, some resist. Neither belongs to you. You see now that demons live in patterns, not people. In habits of overgiving, in reflexes of self-explanation. As awareness touches them, they dissolve without force. What remains is simplicity. You wake, you breathe. You move through life with attentiveness. You respond instead of react. Life becomes less about managing relationships and more about inhabiting your nervous system with care. From this inhabitation, trust grows. Trust in your timing. Trust in your intuition. Trust in your ability to walk away without drama or collapse. This trust changes everything. You are no longer afraid of losing anyone. You know you can survive disappointment. You know you can hold grief. You know solitude does not mean loneliness. This is quiet liberation. There is no striving here, no proving, just presence. Just the soft strength of a woman who protects her peace by living inside it. And from here you can continue. Not rushed, not pulled, but anchored, here. And anchored does not mean closed. It means open without leakage. Your heart can remain warm while your boundaries stay firm. Kindness does not require availability. Love does not demand self-betrayal. This understanding settles slowly, like a new posture, at first unfamiliar, then natural. You no longer rush to fill silences. You allow pauses. You let conversations breathe. In these spaces, truth surfaces. When someone projects unrest onto you, you do not absorb it reflexively. You notice the familiar pull and step back internally. Your breath becomes your anchor. You listen without agreeing. You acknowledge without taking responsibility. This is emotional maturity in its quiet form. You may care deeply, but you no longer carry what does not belong to you. Your inner world grows spacious. There is room for creativity, for rest, for unstructured being. Room to feel joy without bracing for loss. Room to feel sadness without drowning in it. This spaciousness is not accidental. It comes from small, steady choices to stay present instead of reactive. Demons thrive in unconsciousness. They lose grip when seen clearly, without fear or fascination. You do not need to confront them. Your nervous system knows when to step closer and when to step away. You move through relationships with discernment, not hope alone. You notice how you feel after interactions, not just during them. Peace becomes your metric. If your body tightens, you listen. If your breath shortens, you take space. If your energy drains, you withdraw without apology. This listening is self-love, needing no validation. As you honor these signals, self-trust deepens. You become less susceptible to manipulation, subtle or overt. Not because you are guarded, but because you are attuned. Attunement is protection. A new confidence arises. One that does not announce itself, does not seek agreement. It is felt in how you sit, in how you walk away from conversations that diminish you, in how you allow others to reveal themselves over time. While clarity unfolds through consistency, not intensity. You become patient. Patient with yourself, patient with others. But no longer self-sacrificing. You hold your standards quietly. You live them instead of explaining them. Opportunities align more cleanly. Relationships feel less confusing. Your inner world remains stable, even as circumstances shift. This is the reward of presence. As you take this in, let your body register the safety of this moment. Notice your breath. Notice the ground beneath you. Nothing is required. You are already doing what you came here to do. Remain fully, quietly, at home within yourself. Peace is not built outside. It has been waiting patiently for you to stop leaving. Your energy is steady. Your presence is soft but unshakable. Your body, breath, and attention are enough. Here, life meets you gently, without force, without proving, without strain. And remaining does not mean holding on. It means allowing life to move while you stay rooted. There is a softness in you now that is not fragile. It is resilient because it is real. Because it is connected to your body, and not to an image of who you should be. You notice how quickly you return to yourself after disturbance. A breath, a pause, a gentle inward turn. What once would have taken days of rumination now dissolves in moments of presence. You no longer need closure from others. You no longer wait for apologies that may never come. Peace does not require agreement. It requires alignment. And alignment is felt, not argued. When memories of old wounds surface, you meet them differently. You do not relive them. You witness them. You let sensations pass without building stories around them. This is how the nervous system learns safety again. Not through avoidance, but through gentle repetition of presence. You become a place your own emotions can land without fear. This changes how you love. You love without urgency. You love without self-erasure. You love without needing to be chosen at the cost of choosing yourself. If someone cannot meet you this way, you grieve quietly and move on. Not because you are detached, but because you are whole. There is dignity in leaving spaces that no longer honor your inner order. No bitterness, no announcement, just a calm withdrawal of energy. This is how protection looks at its highest level. Not armored, but embodied. Now, as this settles into you, there is a deep sense of rightness. A feeling that nothing essential is missing. You are not waiting to become powerful. You are not preparing for peace. You are living it. Here, in this breath, in this awareness. As you carry this beyond these words, let it be simple. Let it be quiet. Let it be yours. No one needs to see it for it to be real. You know, and that is enough. And enough is not an ending. It is a settling, a deep, internal yes that does not seek confirmation. From this place, you notice how little you need to explain yourself. Your life speaks for you. Your calm speaks for you. When tension appears around you, you do not rush to resolve it. You allow it to exist without absorbing it. You understand now that not every discomfort is yours to soothe. This understanding creates space. Now space where intuition can move freely. Space where wisdom arrives without force. You may still encounter sadness. Moments where absence is felt sharply. You let the edge be there without reaching outward. Reaching inward steadies you. Your breath becomes a companion. Your body becomes a home. In this home, there is room for all of you. The softness, the strength, the clarity. You no longer fragment yourself to maintain harmony. Harmony now forms naturally around your grounded presence. Some days will be quiet. Some days will be full. Neither defines your worth. You move with inner pacing that feels kind. You rest when your system asks. You act when there is clarity. This is how you protect your peace. Not through vigilance, but through intimacy with yourself. As this intimacy deepens, life mirrors your inner order. Relationships simplify. Decisions feel cleaner. Your energy is no longer scattered. You trust the timing of things unfolding. You trust yourself to respond when needed. You trust silence to do its work. This trust is not naive, it is earned. Earned through staying present in moments where you once abandoned yourself. Now, as you breathe here, let the simplicity of this truth land. You do not need to fight for peace. You need only to remain with it. Enough? Let that be your way forward quietly, steadily. Your presence calm. Your energy anchored. Your breath account guides you home. Peace does not demand proving. It only requires staying, remaining here, now, fully. And moving forward from here does not require intention or effort. It unfolds naturally, like water finding its level. You notice your days feel less fragmented. Your attention stays with what is in front of you. Your inner dialogue softens, less interrogative, more kind. You stop asking who you need to be for others. You start listening to who you already are. There is a quiet confidence in this listening. You no longer need to brace against the world. You meet it as you are, and that is sufficient. When misunderstandings arise, you do not rush to correct them. You understand clarity reveals itself over time. You allow people to show who they are through consistency, not words. This patience is grounded, not passive. Your nervous system knows the difference between urgency and truth, intensity and depth, attachment and love. You no longer confuse familiarity with safety. You no longer confuse effort with value. And so you choose differently. Environments that feel calm to your body. Conversations that leave you clear, not depleted. You step away when something disturbs your inner order, without justification. This is how peace stays with you. Not because challenges vanish, but because you no longer abandon peace when challenges arise. Slowly, this becomes your natural state. Not elevated, not dramatic, just steady. You walk through life with a softness that is deeply rooted. You feel your feet on the ground. You feel your breath move freely, nothing to guard against. Nothing to anticipate, only presence. And as this settles fully, let the final truth rest gently within you. What you were searching for in others was always asking you to return to yourself. So you do, again and again. And in that return, you are already home. Peace is not found outside, it has been waiting quietly inside you. In your breath, in your steps, in the calm attention you bring to each moment. You no longer seek validation. You no longer chase understanding. You only stay rooted, soft, and present here, now. Fully, your home has always been within. And home is not a place you arrive at once. It is a practice of returning. Returning when old patterns pull you back into explanation. Returning when familiar faces invite you into roles you have outgrown. Returning when guilt whispers that your peace is too much to ask for. You meet these moments with patience. You do not scold yourself. You do not rush the process. Growth is not linear. It spirals gently, revisiting old terrain with new awareness. When you notice yourself slipping into over-giving, you pause. You feel your breath. You feel your body. And you come back. There is no shame in noticing. Noticing is the work. You begin to sense how your body relaxes when you choose yourself. How your chest opens when you do not force connection. How your energy stabilizes when you honor your limits. These sensations become your guidance system. More reliable than logic. More honest than habit. And so, you listen. You let relationships find their natural distance. You allow space without assuming loss. You trust that what is aligned will remain without effort. This trust deepens your calm. You no longer chase reassurance. You no longer seek to be seen by those who look past you. You understand now that visibility without safety is not intimacy. Intimacy begins within. From that inner intimacy, you relate differently. You offer presence, not performance. Offer honesty, not over-explanation. You allow silence to carry meaning. You allow pauses to protect your energy. This way of being may feel unfamiliar to some. You are not here to be digestible. You are here to be whole. And as you rest in this wholeness, a quiet joy arises. Not the joy of validation, the joy of congruence. Your inner world matches your outer choices. There is peace in that. Let yourself stay with the feeling. No need to grasp it. No need to hold it tightly. Just remain, breathing, present, at home.